At it again. We got to talk about Bill Maher and Charlemagne, who we've talked about both of them before. So you guys are pretty familiar with both of these gentlemen. But Charlemagne went on to Bill's show and really stumped him. I was honestly a little bit surprised by what Bill had to say. And it was actually a little bit funny because in one of the clips that I'm going to show you, you can see Charlemagne doesn't even know what to say. And it's also pretty baffling how, Bill can say what he says in these clips, but then he goes on like these Trump derangement rants sometimes. And it's like, yo, how do you go from like both sides? Like it just doesn't make any sense. But anyway, part of this conversation is about Caitlin, okay? Caitlin Clark, who is the young lady that played at Iowa, who is now in the WNBA. And the other part is about Joe Biden, all right? With that being said, let's dive in.
One of the more controversial things he said to the graduating class that you have to be 10 times as good to get a fair shot in America. And can I read what Glenn Lowry and John McWhorter, you listen to their podcast, I think they're great, said about this. Lowry said, I thought it was the kind of speech you'd have given in 1974, maybe 1984, but not in 1924. McWhorter, for goodness sake, can we please admit the time passes? I remember my mother saying that in the 70s when it still made sense. It's simply not true anymore, and we should celebrate that. You agree with that?
I don't know if it's 10 times better, but maybe 5.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
You think you have to be 5 times?
Yeah, when you black in America, absolutely.
In 2024?
Yeah, when you're black in America, when you're a woman in America, if you're a black woman in America, absolutely.
I think that's a zombie lie.
Why?
Because I just don't think that's America anymore.
Yeah, it's not America anymore. It's just simply not. And like I said, I actually agree with Bill on this. The whole notion that, a black person across the board has to be, 5 times better than anybody else is absolutely bogus. Absolutely bogus. And we've got all types of examples of prominent black people who are very, very wealthy. And a lot of them aren't even good at what they do. Charlemagne is a great example of that. What's Charlemagne's net worth? Let me look that up real quick. I gotta look Charlemagne net worth. His net worth is estimated to be $10 million. Now, who knows if that's completely accurate, but he's estimated to be a millionaire. Would you consider Charlemagne good at his job? I wouldn't, personally. Just being honest. So you got to be 5 times better? Nah, that's an absolute load of crap. That argument could have been made, like whoever, I forgot who he said it, but in the 70s, in the 60s, right? 50s, back in the day. But in 2024, come on now. And it's just like, how long, my thing is this, and I said this before, how long are some of these folks going to sit and cry about anything and everything? Were there some terrible things that were done to black people back in the day? Sure. Yes. But they weren't done to you, first off. And the people of today aren't the ones that did it. So, like, what are we talking about here? And it goes back, and we're going to jump back into this Caitlyn thing here in just 1 second. I do want to say this, though. I believe it was Eric Thomas, E.T. the hip hop preacher. I believe it was him that said this. And he said, if somebody pushed you down, right? Somebody pushed you over. And I come back a week later and you're still laying on the ground. That's now your fault. Like, I feel like that's the mentality of a lot of folks. They saw their grandparents get pushed down, right? And now they just want to go take their place and lie on the ground. And it's like, yo, you weren't even the person that was pushed down. You weren't the person that had to experience any true racism, like legit racism. Now people talk about what's it called? What's the little term that people use now? Microaggressions, or it might be is there something else too? I feel like there's something else that they use. some weird like nonsense term, microaggressions. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh well, they handed me the tab in a funny way. He just like what, bro? People just lost their darn minds. But let's jump into this Caitlin Clark clip as well. Check it out.
Spectacle.
But
I
you don't
that's
think
what
it's a
Caitlin Clark-
problem that this young woman, there's so many examples where, I mean, black people are very marketable.
Well, ask yourself
and
this,
she
then. Why is
she
it-
seems to have been indoctrinated into this. They don't see it as marketable, so it doesn't matter how hard I work.
Well, Asia's
I don't
been-
think that's accurate or healthy. I
Well,
mean,
Asia-
when people come into the league and they're like the biggest thing in college, isn't that a big deal?
No, because Asia Wilson was the biggest thing when she came out of South Carolina. That's where I'm from. So she was one of the biggest things when she came out of South Carolina, #1 draft pick. And she didn't get all of that. So what do you attribute that to?
I mean, you're saying that's racism.
No, I'm not saying it's racist. I'm just saying that I think Asia Wilson has a point, and I think sometimes when black women say certain things, we should listen, especially her, because I'm not in her shoes.
I don't know, but why was Serena Williams such a big star? Because people like that. They didn't not watch her because she was black, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So where are we with this?
I don't know. I'm just sitting back observing the conversation, but I do think
Well, you're in the conversation. What do you mean?
I'm not a woman.
You're in this conversation.
I've refrained from talking about the whole Caitlin Clark drama that was going down. I've seen it all, of course, but this is my first video talking about it. This stuff has just gotten absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. For a league that is projected to lose, I believe it was $50 million this year. Come on now. For a league that's subsidized by the men's league, come on now. Like what are we crying about? Because Caitlin Clark gets to the NBA and gets some attention? Boo-hoo. She brought all of the rest of the league attention too. Like, I'm just so confused. And big shout out to Caitlin Clark too, because she's not buying into the BS. She is not even responding to any of it. So big shout out to Caitlin Clark, man. Big shout out. She just like, hey, I'm just here to hoop. I'm here to do my job, okay? I'm just here to hoop. And I think that's one of the things that people like about her. Like, you don't get all this extra, and I'm not saying athletes can't speak, right? Athletes can't have opinions, because I know somebody's going to twist it and try to say that. But also at the same time, I come to watch you play. Like, I don't want to hear all this yip yap and jaw jack about, oh my goodness, racism this, racism that. Like, can we just put on an entertaining show? Like, that's what we're here for at the end of the day. For the players to entertain the fans. That is exactly what it is. It's entertainment. So can we just get on with that? I'm not paying to come hear you speak. I'm paying to come hear you hoop, to come watch you hoop. Like, it's just like, come on, man. Come on. Like, stop it with the nonsense, bro. And it's just, oh, well, I'm not hating them. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. And it's because you're not getting as much attention as she is. Like, it's just ridiculous, man. The moment that Caitlin Clark got to the WNBA, they started getting private jets. That's not a benefit to everybody. Like, it's just ridiculous, man. And then that's when Charlamagne brought up Asia Wilson not getting the attention, and he insinuated that it's because she's black. And some WNBA players have insinuated the same thing. I love that he brought up Serena Williams. Look at Serena. Legit, the only reason why I've ever watched a tennis match is because of Serena. Legit. So if America is so racist, if they hate black women so much, or black people so much, how is Serena Williams as popular as she is? Because according to, and I've looked at the stats, Asia Wilson is hooping. The chick he was talking about, she's hooping. Make no mistake about it. She getting buckets. So you can't say that, oh, well, that's because, Asia, Serena isn't good, or Asia isn't good. Like, they're both good. There's no difference between the two. They're both black women. So is it really about race? No. Serena Williams. Perfect example, Serena and Venus. And even if you want to spread outside of that, who's the most popular basketball player? Michael Jordan. We all thought the same thing. Michael Jordan. Is Michael Jordan white? He's black. You know what I'm saying? So bro, the dude hasn't played in I don't know 20 years, and he still sells his shoes. People go crazy over the shoes. Look at LeBron. Look at LeBron. Say what you want about, his politics and everything, but in terms of the popularity, everybody knows who LeBron is. When LeBron is coming into town, the arena is sold out. But the world is racist. Like, come on. Look at Tiger Woods. Legit, the only reason why I've ever watched a golf match, because of Tiger Woods. For a lot of folks, whenever you mention golf, people think of Tiger Woods. But the world is America is racist, though. This whole narrative is just silly, man. Absolutely silly. Come on, stop it with the nonsense. And we could go on and on, on black athletes that are extremely popular. Justin Jefferson plays for the Vikings, okay, NFL player. We can go on and on. So, stop it with the BS. Can we just listen? I also want to play this clip as well because Serena laid it out perfectly.
I was bullied, but that's in the book. That's not, we go into that a little bit in the arena, but yeah, I was, and things that I had to go through now, people will be canceled for saying back then.
So when you see like a Caitlin Clark, what advice would you have maybe for her?
I just love that she tries to stay grounded, and she says she doesn't. What did she say? She doesn't have a social. She doesn't look at her social, and I get it. I don't either, and I think it's so important to continue to do what she's doing, and no matter what other people do, then. If people are negative, it's because they can't do what you do, basically. And hopefully she'll continue to do what she's doing.
I agree. People are jealous that they can't do what Caitlin Clark is doing. People are jealous. I also do want to show y'all this clip because the whole narrative of Trump being racist, too.
And Donald Trump is always where the cameras are when it involves making money. And today at Lowe's Island in Sterling, Virginia, he opened the Tennis Performance Center. Trump volleyed with Serena Williams, shoes off, coat on. Donald Trump showing he's got some game, some, little. It's right there at the Trump National Club. Both are tremendous facilities. It was good to see him out there, and the fans seemed to enjoy it.
So can we just stop it with this whole race stuff? My goodness. Crying and complaining like it's 1950 instead of 2024. Stop it with the nonsense. And honestly, I feel like that's a big problem with the WNBA. They talk more about race than they do about the actual game. Just saying. The proof is, in the words of Joe Biden, the proof is in the eating. Just saying. People show up when Caitlin's in town. I think I saw something where they were comparing Caitlin Clark's games over the weekend versus other WNBA games. Caitlin Clark's games brought in almost 20,000 people a game. Regular WNBA barely got to 10K. And what's the difference between the two? You can't say it's race. I just gave you examples of race not being a factor. Caitlin Clark doesn't talk. She lets the hoop and do the talking. Say what you want about what I had to say, but the proof is right there in your face. We don't come to hear you complain and yip yap and jaw jack about race this, race that. We come to be entertained. Let's hoop. Just saying. But how do y'all feel about it? Let me know. Peace and love. I'm out.